How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Virtual History 360. I'm Mr. Wade, and this is History Teacher Vlog number 23, I believe. Wow, the year has gone by, and that's what we're going to talk about today. You see, this is December. We are almost to winter break. It's getting close. So I figure, why not talk about what we got going this last week before break? Now, one of the beautiful things about being here in Florida is that it's afternoon, but it's 70-something degrees. It's a little overcast, a little rainy this morning, but yeah, it's in the 70s in December. So if you're a teacher watching this in the North or in the Midwest and you're freezing right now, I'm sorry, but it's nice to be out here in a t-shirt. So what do you say we head to my classroom? Let's talk more about this week. Tell you what, before we get to my classroom, what do you say we talk about how things are going in a typical end of the quarter scenario? You see, end of the quarter usually means grades are due, right? So what does that mean? It means we're spending this week and we are dealing with kids and their grades. Now, some kids, they're on top of it. What are they talking about? They're talking about doing the extra stuff to raise their grade. They're talking about doing the level 4 assignment for me. Talking about doing the grand tour, doing all the great stuff. But unfortunately, that's not everyone. Here we are. Now, talking about most kids doing well, some kids need this little extra time. And I don't know if I've mentioned this earlier, but if you're new, let's talk about this. We have the Grand Tour project at the end of each unit. It's 3 days that I set aside to let people, enrich themselves. In my world history class, for example, we're studying Egypt. Grand Tour of Egypt. Let's take a tour, find different cities in Egypt to take, in the sites. Something historic, something touristy, find hotels, but what is modern Egypt? Not necessarily ancient Egypt, but kind of bridging the gap, if you will. But some kids aren't there yet. And what does that mean? It means that I have these 3 days plugged in, that I call them up to my desk, I say, hey, if you have anything to show me, now's the time, show it to me. And they can then show me if they have their level 3, 2, or 1, or anything they're missing. Just from experience, it's mostly the level 3, the most recent assignment that was due today, that they didn't get finished on Friday. So what do? They come up to me and say, it's not done, or they have me check it now. And I'm like, you gotta fix this. And they have time to go back. And like I tell my kids, that's the biggest gift I can give them is time. Because time is what a lot of these kids need more than anything. They understand the assignment, but you can't rush them. So by giving them this time at the end of the unit, I'm not just putting in a 0 saying you didn't get it done. You have time to get it done, okay? And if they don't get to the enrichment activity, that's fine. This acts as the remediation. I think it works pretty well. So that's the bulk of this week is playing catch up, trying to get that remediation done for the kids that need the time to get caught up, to be successful. Because at the end of the day, isn't that what we all want, is for our kids to be successful? Okay? So let's talk about what I have planned for the end of the week. All right, so for the last part of the week, obviously we're finishing up the unit, we're covering our content, and we're finishing what we need to finish, right? But there's still more. There's always some more, right? One thing that our county does is social emotional learning. We talked about it briefly at the beginning of the year, but I kind of want to, tie up this, in a nice, neat package. Is we share videos, we have discussions. I have that planned for this Thursday, is to go over the December video and have that discussion with my kids because, this is a good time because we're dealing with a stressful time for a lot of families. So I think it'd be good to hit that on. And then the last day before break, and I do this every year, is there are a couple of TED Talks that I want to share. And before I get to that, let me backtrack a little. The Christmas truce of World War I always think that's a key lesson. U.S. history, I know it wasn't necessarily U.S. history, but we did get in World War I eventually, right? So that kind of hits it. And then world history, world history, it works. So I feel like I can get away with that this year. I think that's a good lesson on the Christmas truce and what, people do, when, given the opportunity to do well. So I think that's kind of a big deal. As far as the TED Talks I was getting at, there's two of them. One is how to dry your hand with one paper towel. Now, if you're a teacher, you understand kids when they go to the bathroom, what do they do? We don't want that. So I teach them to dry their hands with one. That's it. Because the trick is you shake the excess water off your hands and then fold a paper towel and your hands are dry with just one. So we try to save the environment. I also frame it as saving the school money so we can buy nice stuff rather than more paper towels. And then the last video is a little short one on how to tie your shoes, because I had to learn this. You learn the weak form of the bow knot, it comes untied more often than if you learn the strong form. So if I can save my kids time by not having to retie their shoes constantly, it'll give them time to do other things. And that gets back to what I said at the beginning about the biggest gift I can give them is time. Maybe tying their shoes right will help them there. So what do you guys think? Right? If you're a student, share this with your teacher. Let me know what you guys are doing this last week before break. If you're a teacher, what do you have planned? Do you have anything special planned or anything fun planned? Let me know. Are you teaching your kids how to dry their hands or tie their shoes? Let me know. Leave a comment. I'm open. If you have questions, comments, give them to me. Hit like. I love the engagement. That little button there is red. Let's turn it gray because I want you to subscribe so you can keep up with these videos. If you want to support the channel, check out my Teespring store. I'll put the link right here. And for Virtual History 360, I'm Mr. Wade. I'll see you next time.